Girl, y'all might want to sit down for this one because the streets are talking about Diggy Simmons and the tea is Havo-T. So here's the thing. Just when we thought we'd heard it all, another name might be joining the list of people allegedly tied to Diddy's mess. And girl, it's Diggy Simmons. Yes, that Diggy Simmons. It's wild because we really thought we had reached the end of the road with all these allegations, but apparently not. Every time we think the list is done, it just keeps growing. Remember when Diggy was everywhere? He was the moment. 1 minute, he was killing performances and climbing the charts. And then, just like that, he vanished. Fans were left scratching their heads, like, what happened to Diggy? For years, it seemed like he just stepped away from the spotlight quietly. But now, the whispers are turning into full-on speculation. And baby, it's looking like Diggy didn't walk away. He may have been pushed out. According to rumors and growing fan theories, Diggy didn't leave the industry on his own terms. Even though he had all the talent, momentum, and the right people backing him, something or someone may have buried his career. It's honestly starting to look like a pattern. Let's rewind for a second. Diggy Simmons didn't just randomly pop up in the music world. He was born into it. His father is Rev Run from the legendary Run DMC, and his uncle is none other than Russell Simmons, co-founder of Def Jam, hip-hop royalty, okay? So it was only natural that Diggy stepped into the game. One of his early moves, he joined a group called All City Chess Club, which had names like Pharrell Williams and J. Cole attached to it. He was only 15. That right there tells you he had something. Sure, being a Nepo baby helped him get in the room, but make no mistake, his talent made people pay attention. Even though that group fizzled out after just one song, Diggy didn't slow down. In 2009, at just 14 or 15 years old, he dropped his first mixtape, The First Flight. This was before streaming took over, so he uploaded it to his personal blog, and boom, it went viral. He reportedly got over 100,000 downloads. Labels were scrambling to sign him. In an old interview, Diggy said, "The way I started everything was just personal. I was just recording songs by myself, and it escalated. My friends were like, 'This is good, take it seriously.' So I did." And he did. He dropped freestyles on YouTube, networked on Twitter during the peak of the blog era, and built momentum on his own. Eventually, he signed with Atlantic Records, a move that seemed to lock in his spot in the game. In 2010, he dropped a freestyle over Nas' Made You Look, and it exploded. Even Kanye and Nas gave him props. That same year, he released his second mixtape, Airborne, which got even more attention. By 2011, he was back with another tape, Past, Present, Future, and at that point, Diggy was undeniably on a roll. He went on tour with BE's Closer to My Dreams tour alongside artists like Tyga, Mac Miller, Mindless Behavior, and Lil Twist. Then he hit the road again with the Scream tour, Next Generation, sharing the stage with Jacob Latimore, New Boys, and OMG Girls. In 2012, he dropped his debut album Unexpected Arrival, and yes, it was another win. He turned 17 the day after it was released. The album debuted at number 13 on the Billboard 200, and he even won both a BET Award and an NAACP Image Award. His future looked set. He didn't stop there. Diggy stepped into acting too. Most people today probably recognize him as Doug from Grownish. He was doing the most: music, acting, touring, and all while being a teenager in the public eye. But let's be real, being called a Nepo baby added a whole different kind of pressure. Even though Diggy was clearly talented, some people just couldn't look past his last name. Critics were quick to point out that he grew up privileged, and they felt he hadn't earned his spot in the industry the way others had. Even though Diggy rapped about his experiences, some folks felt he didn't have the street credibility they expected from a rapper. He tried to tune it out to keep his focus on the music, but let's not pretend those comments didn't sting. The constant comparisons, the hate, and the "you didn't earn this" narrative started to weigh heavy on him. And then, poof, he was gone. No announcement, no farewell, just gone. For years, fans were confused. Why would someone with so much talent and momentum just walk away? Well, he finally started speaking on it. In recent interviews, Diggy opened up about how all the negativity affected his mental health. Turns out, all that outside pressure led him to develop OCD, along with deep feelings of guilt and self-doubt. He started to feel like he didn't deserve the success he had. The hate didn't just bounce off him, it got inside his head. Eventually, it became too much. He stepped away not because he didn't love music anymore, but because he needed to protect his peace. So now fans are wondering, was that the only reason, or was something even darker going on behind the scenes? With Diddy facing serious allegations and more people coming forward, some believe that Diggy may have been caught up in something he never asked for. The whispers are getting louder. Did someone silence his momentum on purpose? Was he pushed out because he knew too much or refused to play the game? Of course, there's no hard proof yet, but the speculation is growing. Whatever the real story is, it's clear that Diggy Simmons had the talent, the drive, and the opportunity to become a major star. The fact that it all stopped so suddenly, it raises questions. One thing's for sure, Diggy didn't just disappear. He retreated for his sanity, his safety, or maybe even more. And now, with all this new talk swirling around, we might just be getting the first glimpses of a story that's much bigger than we ever knew. Okay, so let's start with this. Diggy Simmons recently opened up about why he's been so quiet on the music front, and y'all, it's deeper than we thought. In an Instagram post, he said, "I haven't released a music project in 6 years, all due to overthinking my ideas, my OCD, being too invested in the unknown, and the fear of uncertain outcomes. For years, I let my irrationalities and the negative perceptions of others overcome what I perceived of myself." Let that sink in for a second. He's been carrying a lot, and it's not just about writer's block. In an interview, Diggy also said, "I could always rap and always liked to rap, but I strayed away from it completely. I didn't want people thinking I was doing this just because of my family. I've been in a time period of self-discovery and just becoming better mentally, coming into myself as an adult." He went on to explain, "It's a transitional period. After I released my first album, I had to take time for myself, and at the same time, lay low and not overthink the creative process." Now, let's be real. Sure, Diggy is a Nepo baby, but here's the thing. There were two types. Some rely entirely on their family name, with success that doesn't even match their talent. We're not naming names, but y'all know who. Then there are those who actually have skills. And yes, their connections open doors, but they walk through those doors on their own merit. Diggy is definitely in the second group. The man's got talent. He built a loyal fan base, dropped solid music, and was winning awards, all before he even turned 18. That doesn't happen just because your dad is Rev Run. That comes from real work and real passion. But now the internet is buzzing with something way darker. Fans are speculating that Diggy didn't just leave music because of mental health struggles. The latest rumor? That Diggy may have been one of Diddy's alleged victims. And unfortunately, it's not the wildest theory. At this point, there are so many allegations swirling around Diddy, it's hard to keep track. The streets have been talking for years, and now it's all bubbling to the surface. What's especially concerning is that federal investigations reportedly go back over a decade. Back in 2013, music executive turned kingpin James Rosemond, aka Jimmy Henchman, was allegedly questioned by investigators about the preferences of certain entertainers, including whether seen Diddy comms had relationships with underage boys. Fast forward to now, and some fans are connecting dots between those old reports and the recent speculation about Diggy. Names like B2K's Raz B, YK Osiris, Barrier Gray, and Orlando Brown have also been floated in these kinds of rumors. Young male artists who were trying to break into the industry and allegedly got caught up in Diddy's orbit. And now, Diggy's name is being added to that growing list. Here's the thing that really gets people talking. Diggy had everything going for him. Talent, family backing, momentum, critical acclaim, and then boom, he vanished. No scandal, no fall off, just silence. That's why people are wondering if something happened behind the scenes that forced him to walk away from music, for real. As for Rev Run, if he had any idea something was off, it's hard to believe he would have stayed quiet. One thing about Rev Run, he does not play about his family. If someone like Diddy had crossed the line with his son, woo, it would have been war. But the sad truth is, victims don't always speak up, especially when the alleged abuser holds power, influence, and control over the entire industry. It adds up. Diggy was also being dragged in the media for being a Nepo baby, which likely made things worse. Combine all of that, and yeah, it makes sense why he'd walk away to protect his peace. It's heartbreaking if true, and we may never know the full story. But whatever the reason, Diggy choosing his mental health over fame deserves respect. What do y'all think? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and then hit play on the next video, because this rabbit hole goes deep.